Welcome to Statistics Made Simple, and I'm Savita Balsan. In this video, I am solving the second PUC Statistics Final Examination paper for the year 2024. Section A, first mean, choose the correct answer from the choices given. 5 into 1 is equal to 5. First one, life expectancy of a newborn baby is longevity. Second, the weights used in the construction of Marshall Edgeworth's price index number is, it is the arithmetic mean of the quantities of the base year and current year, so Q0 plus Q1 divided by 2. Third, the variance of a chi-square distribution with 12 degrees of freedom is 24, then its mean is. So they have given that the degrees of freedom is 12, so n is equal to 12. So we know that expectation of chi-square, that is the mean of the chi-square distribution, is E of chi-square is equal to n, which is equal to 12. So the correct answer is D. Fourth, type 1 error is rejecting H0 when H0 is true. Fifth one, the game is said to be fair if the value of the game is B, that is the value is equal to 0. Second mean, fill in the blanks by choosing the appropriate answer from those given in the brackets. 5 into 1 is equal to 5. Sixth question, the best average used in the construction of index number is the geometric mean. Seventh one, binomial distribution is positively skewed when P is less than half. The standard error of the sample proportion is root PQ divided by N. For our chart, if sigma dash is known, that is case 1, then D2 sigma dash is the central line or CL. 10th one, the feasible solution to the LPP always lies in the first quadrant. That's why we have x and y are always greater than or equal to 0. Third mean, match the following. 5 into 1 is equal to 5. The 11th question, deaths of newborn babies within 28 days. They are called as neonatal deaths. 12th question, index number which doesn't satisfy the unit test is the simple aggregative price index number. The student's T curve is a leptokurtic curve, that is beta 2 is greater than 3. The power of the test is denoted by 1 minus beta. The shortage cost is denoted by C2. Fourth mean, answer the following questions. 5 into 1 is equal to 5. The 16th question, write one use of vital statistics. I have listed down the 8 uses of vital statistics. You can write any one of them. That is, they are of great use in planning and evaluation of economic and social development of a country. They are useful to government agencies for administrative purposes. They are very much useful in medical research. They are essential in demographic research. They are highly useful to an individual by the way of recording birth, death, marriage, and divorce during his or her lifetime. They are also of great use at the international point of view, and they are of great use to the government to assess the impact of family welfare programs in the country, and they are used in actuarial science. 17th question, define secular trend. So the general tendency of the time series data or just data to increase, decrease, or to remain constant over a long period of time, that is called as the secular trend. 18th question, a normal variate has mean 150 and variance 25. Find the standard deviation. So they have given mu is equal to 150 and the variance means sigma square is equal to 25. So we know that the standard deviation, so therefore SD of x is nothing but sigma. So if sigma square is equal to 25, it implies that sigma is equal to root of 25, which is equal to 5. So the standard deviation is 5. 19th question, define rejection region. So the values of the statistic which lead to the rejection of H0 gives us the region which is called as the critical region or rejection region. So in other words, critical region is a region in the sample space which leads to the rejection of the null hypothesis. 20th question, when is the solution to the transportation problem said to be non-degenerate? So we know that when the number of positive allocations, that means the Xij values, in any basic feasible solution is exactly equal to m plus n minus 1, then the solution is said to be non-degenerate. Section B, the fifth main, answer any 5 of the following questions. 5 into 2 is equal to 10. 21st question, define irregular variation and give an example. So the changes that take place in a time series as a result of forces which cannot be predicted, like floods, famines, tsunamis, earthquakes, epidemics, strikes, fires, lockouts, etc., are the irregular variations. Some of the examples can be increase in the price of vegetables due to strike by lorry drivers, increase in the number of deaths due to an earthquake, demand for medicines increases during floods. 22nd question, write two conditions for applying binomial expansion method of interpolation and extrapolation. First is the x value should be equally spaced. That is, the values of the independent variable should have a common difference. Second is the value of x for which the value of y is to be interpolated must be one of the values of x. 23rd question, write down the Bernoulli distribution probability mass function with the parameter p is equal to 2 divided by 5. So they have given p is equal to 2 by 5, which is equal to 0.4. So q is equal to 1 minus p, which is 1 minus 0.4, is equal to 0.6. So the PMF of the Bernoulli distribution, as we know, is p of x equal to, it is p to the power x. So 0.4 to the power x, q to the power 1 minus x. So 0.6 to the power 1 minus x. X takes the value 0, 1. You should write at least this to get 1 mark. 0 otherwise. 24th question, if Z1 and Z2 are two independent standard normal variates, then name the distribution of Z1 square plus Z2 square and write its mean. So, we know that if Z1 and Z2 are two independent normal variates, then the square of a standard normal variate is a chi-square variate with 1 degree of freedom. So therefore, this Z1 square plus Z2 square, it will follow chi-square distribution with 2 degrees of freedom. So it's important to write 2 degrees of freedom. So in other words, it implies that the degrees of freedom is equal to n, which is equal to 2. So they have said name the distribution. So the distribution is chi-square with 2 degrees of freedom and write its mean. So we know that expectation of chi-square is equal to n, which is equal to 2. 25th question, define parameter and statistic. Statistical constants of the population are called parameters. For example, mu and sigma square. And the statistical constants of the sample are termed as statistic. For example, x bar, the sample mean, and s square, the sample variance. 26th question, given n1 equal to 100, n2 equal to 60, capital P1 and P2, that is the population proportions as 0.4 and 0.8, find standard error of P1 minus P2. So they have given us P1 equal to 0.4, so which implies that Q1 is equal to 1 minus P1, 1 minus 0.4 is equal to 0.6, and P2 is equal to 0.8, so which implies Q2 is equal to 1 minus P2, that is 1 minus 0.8 is equal to 0.2. So now let us write the formula for the standard error of the difference between the sample proportions. So standard error of P1 minus P2 is equal to root P1 Q1 by N1 plus P2 Q2 divided by N2, which is equal to root, it is 0.4 into 0.6 divided by 100 plus P2, that is 0.8 into 0.2 divided by 60, which is equal to root of 0.24 divided by 100 plus 0.16 divided by 60, which is root 0.0024 plus 0.0027, which is root of 0.0051. So therefore standard error of P1 minus P2 is 0.0714. 27th question. In statistical quality control, what are defect and defectives? So a defect is a quality characteristic which does not conform to specifications, whereas a defective is an item having one or more defects. 28th question. Given R is equal to 5000 items per year, C3 is rupees 50 per cycle, C1 is rupees 2 per item per year. Calculate the minimum average inventory cost. So this is model 1. So the formula for the minimum average inventory cost is consider C of q to the power 0, which is root 2 C1 C3R. So substituting, you will get root 2 into 2 into 50 into 5000, which is equal to root of, it will be 10 lakhs. So the final answer is rupees 1000. Section C, sixth main, answer any four of the following questions. 4 into 5 is equal to 20. 29th question, construct a suitable index number for the following data and comment. The items are given as rice, wheat, ragi and oil. The prices for the base year, that is 2018, and the current year 2023 are given, and also the quantity for the year 2023 is given. So since the prices in the base year and current year along with the quantity in the current year are given, we can calculate Paget's price index number. So the formula for Paget's price index number is consider P01 of P is equal to summation P1 Q1 by summation P0 Q1 into 100. So price in 2018 you mark it as P0. Price in 2023 market as P1, quantity in 2023 is Q1. So now form two columns, that is P1 Q1 and P0 Q1. So P1 Q1, it is 40 into 10, so 400. Similarly 96, 150 and 300. So P0 Q1, so 20 into 10 is 200, 75, 90 and 240. So this total is 946 and summation P0 Q1 is 605. So this is equal to 946 divided by 605 into 100. So therefore P01 of P is equal to 156.36. So if you do the calculations till here, you will get 4 marks. Next, you have to write the conclusion. So what you have to do is 156.36 you should subtract from the base year index, that is 100. So you will get 56.36. So the conclusion is the price in the current year has increased by 56.36% as compared to the price in the base year. So the conclusion will carry 1 mark. 30th question, interpolate the value of y when x is equal to 25 using Newton's forward difference method for the following data. So the x values are given as 10, 20, 30, 40 and the corresponding y values are 13, 15, 19 and 25. Okay, so we have to first find out the leading differences. Delta to the power 1 is the first leading difference, delta square is the second leading difference and delta cube are the third leading differences. So 10 you mark it as x naught and 13 is nothing but y naught. So how do you find out the first leading difference, delta to the power 1? So it is 15 minus 13. You get 2. We write it in between 13 and 15. Similarly, 19 minus 15 is 4. 25 minus 19 is 6. Similarly, the second leading difference is 4 minus 2 is 2. 6 minus 4 is 2. Then the third leading difference is 2 minus 2 is 0. We stop the leading differences table when we reach only one value. Next, we will write here given x is equal to 25. Then write the formula for Newton's interpolation formula, that is consider yx is equal to y naught plus x delta naught to the power 1 plus x into x minus 1 by 2 factorial delta naught square plus x into x minus 1 into x minus 2 by 3 factorial delta naught cubed. And how do we calculate this x? Now don't confuse this x with this. We have to find out y when x is equal to 25, whereas this x which you see in the formula is nothing but value of x for which y is interpolated minus value of x at the origin divided by the difference between two adjoining values of x. So to keep it simple, x is nothing but the value which is given to us in the problem. What is that value? It is 25 minus value of x at the origin means it is x naught, that is 10, and difference between two adjoining values of x means 20 minus 10. So when we subtract, we get 25 minus 10 is equal to 15 and 20 minus 10 is 10. So we get here 15 divided by 10 which is equal to 1.5. So now substituting all the values in yx, we will get therefore y, in place of x we will write 25 is equal to y naught, that is 13 plus x, that is 1.5. And now we need delta naught to the power 1, delta naught square and delta naught cubed. So delta naught to the power 1 is 2, delta naught square is 2 and delta naught cubed is 3. So you'll get 1.5 into 2 plus 1.5 into 1.5 minus 1 divided by 2 factorial is nothing but 2, and you multiply by delta naught square which is 2. And since delta naught cubed is 0, anything multiplied by 0 is 0. So here I will write plus 0. So therefore y25 is equal to 13 plus 1.5 into 2 is nothing but 3 plus 1.5 into 1.5 minus 1 will be 0.5. Then this 2 and 2 will get cancelled. So if we simplify, 13 plus 3 is 16. 1.5 into 0.5 is 0.75. So the final answer is y25 is equal to 16.75. 31st question. In a class, 60% of the students are boys. In a random sample of 5 students, find the probability that subdivision A, 2 are boys, B, at least 1 is a boy. So the problem is based on the binomial distribution, and we need the two parameters n and p. N is a whole number, that is 5, and p is usually given in terms of that is percentage, decimals of fractions, and it is the probability of success. That is, here it is a probability that the student is a boy. So let's first write down the information which is given. So given p is equal to 60%, which is 60 divided by 100, which is equal to 0.6. You will need q, which is a probability of failure, 1 minus p, which is 1 minus 0.6 is equal to 0.4, and n is the random sample, which is equal to 5. So next step is to define capital X. It is number of boys. Next, we write down the probability mass function. This is the important step. So P of X is equal to, the formula is NCX. So 5CX, P to the power X, so 0.6 to the power X, Q to the power N minus X, so 0.4 to the power 5 minus X, and X takes values from 0 to N. So here X will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have to write at least this step. Whether you write 0 otherwise or not, it doesn't matter, marks will not be deducted. Next, you start with the first subdivision. You should find the probability that 2 are boys. So consider probability of capital X equal to 2, which is P of 2. So in the PMF, wherever you have X, replace it by 2. 5C2, 0.6 to the power 2, 0.4 to the power 5 minus 2. So 5C2 is 10 into 0.36. You will get 0.4 to the power 3, which is 0.064. So the first answer is probability of X equal to 2 is 0.2304. Moving on to the second subdivision, at least one is a boy. The word at least means greater than or equal to. So consider probability of X greater than or equal to 1. So in the direct method, X is greater than or equal to 1 means 1, 2, 3, so on till 5. It is time consuming to calculate so many probabilities. So use the formula method, 1 minus probability of X, because on the left hand side you have greater than or equal to, on the right hand side you will have only less than 1. So the value which is less than 1 is 0. So this is 1 minus probability of X equal to 0, which is 1 minus P of 0. So P of 0 is obtained by putting X equal to 0 in the PMF. So it is 1 minus 5C0, 0.6 to the power 0, 0.4 to the power 5 minus 0, which is equal to 1 minus 5C0 is 1, 0.6 to the power 0 is 1, and then you find out 0.4 to the power 5, which is 0.0102. So therefore, the final answer is probability of X greater than or equal to 1 is 0.9898. 32nd question. A box contains 5 blue and 7 pink marbles. 5 marbles are drawn at random. What is the probability that the sample contains 2 pink marbles? Also find the mean number of pink marbles. Those who have practiced all the problems in theoretical distributions, you will realize that this problem is based on the hypergeometric distribution. The hypergeometric distribution has 3 parameters, n, a, and b. And because here the question is asked with respect to pink marbles, A will stand for the number of pink marbles, that is 7, and be careful that A is not 5, but A is equal to 7. This I have explained in the class as well. So now first let us write down the information which is given. So given A is equal to 7 because the question is based on pink marbles, and B will obviously be the blue marbles, which is 5. So you know that a plus b is equal to 12. And 5 marbles are drawn at random means n is equal to 5. The next step is to define capital X. It is number of pink marbles in a random sample of size n equal to 5. The next important step is to write the PMF, because without the PMF we cannot find out the probability. So the formula is P of x equal to, it is ACX, that means 7CX, BCN minus x, so 5C 5 minus x, divided by A plus BCN, that is 12C5. And you know that x is 0, 1, 2, so on. It is minimum of a comma n, and a is nothing but 7 and n is 5. So finally you get P of x is equal to 7cx 5c5 minus x, and 12c5 is 792, and the minimum of 7 and 5 is 5. So your x will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now the question is, find the probability that the sample contains 2 pink marbles. So subdivision A, you can write consider probability of capital X equal to 2, which is P of 2, that is 7C2, 5C5 minus 2 divided by 792. So 5C2 is 21, and here you will get 5C3, which is 10, divided by 792. So the first answer is 0.2652. Now the next question asked is, also find out the mean number of pink marbles. That means you should find out expectation of x. So expectation of x is nothing but the mean of the hypergeometric distribution. You have learned the formula NA divided by A plus B. So this is 5 into 7 divided by 12, which gives us 2.9167. 33rd question. A sample of 100 students is chosen from a large group of students. The average height of these students is 162 centimeters and standard deviation is 8 centimeters. At alpha equal to 5%, can be reasonably assumed that the average height of the large group of students is 160 centimeters. So this question has the word average and standard deviation, and it is based on only one sample, and it is a large group. Okay, so the problem is based on test for single mean for large samples. So you know that you require 4 values from the problem. So the 4 values are given. N is equal to 100. Average height of these students means the mean of the sample. So x bar is equal to 162. Standard deviation of the sample means S is equal to 8. And then they have given alpha equal to 5%. Now the most important value remaining is mu naught. So can we reasonably assume that the average height of the large group of students, that means the mean of the population, that is nothing but mu naught, this is equal to 160. So next write H naught. The population mean is mu naught, that is 160. So even if you don't write the sentence, it is fine, but you have to write mu is equal to 160. So versus the alternative hypothesis, it will be a two-tailed alternative. Mu is not equal to 160. Next, write the formula for the test statistic under H naught. The test statistic is, so it is Z equal to x bar minus mu naught divided by S by root n, which follows normal 0, 1. So which implies Z is equal to 162 minus 160 divided by 8 by root 100. So this is equal to 2 divided by 8 by 10, or it is 2 divided by 0.8. You have to first divide 8 by 10, which is 0.8, and so you will get 2.5. Now let us write the condition. To make the conclusion, you have to check whether mod z is greater than or equal to k alpha by 2. So if this condition is satisfied, you reject H0. So this condition is used only for a two-tailed alternative. So we have got z is 2.5, so which implies modulus of z is modulus of 2.5, which remains as 2.5. So next we need k alpha by 2. So at 5% level of significance for, you can just ignore that for. So at 5% level of significance, the value of k alpha by 2, or which is nothing but the table value. So k alpha by 2 is equal to 1.96. So the last step is the conclusion. So since mod z is equal to 2.5, you have to check whether it is greater than 1.96. So it is greater than k alpha by 2, which is equal to 1.96. So at 5% level of significance, we reject H0. So when you're rejecting H0, you're accepting H1. So we conclude that mu is not equal to 160. 34th question. 5 students were given an intensive coaching and 2 tests were conducted before and after coaching. The change in their marks are as follows: 2, 0, 5, -2 and 3. Do the scores after coaching show an improvement? Use alpha equal to 5%. All of us know that when the terms before and after are used, it is based on the paired t test. But here they haven't given us the x and y values, but the change is already given. So these are nothing but the d values. That is, the difference between x and y is already given to us. So let us start the problem. We will write given n is equal to 5 and alpha is equal to 5%. So the paired t-test H0 is the two population means are equal, that is mu1 is equal to mu2. Now the question asked is, do the scores after coaching show an improvement? So let us write the alternative correctly. So at this side, before coaching, I will denote the mean marks as mu1, and after coaching, the mean marks I will denote it as mu2. So they are asking us whether mu2 is greater than mu1, but whenever we write, we have to write mu. This implies actually mu2 is greater than mu1 according to the question, but when we write, we should write mu1 is less than mu2. So the alternative will be a left-tailed alternative, that is mu1 is less than mu2. Now let us write the test statistics. So under H0, the test statistic is, the formula is t equal to d bar divided by s by root n minus 1, which follows t n minus 1. So now let us do some calculations. The d values, that is the difference between the x and y values, are 2, 0, 5, -2 and 3. So let us find out d bar. Okay, so what is the formula for d bar? D bar is nothing but summation d by n, and this s square formula is summation d square by n minus summation d by n the whole square. So let us calculate summation d. So summation d is equal to 8. Next we'll find out d square, which is 4, 0, 25, 4 and 9. So you get summation d square is equal to 42. So if we do the calculations, we'll get d bar is equal to 8 divided by 5, which is equal to 1.6. And let us also calculate SD, or just S square. So S square is nothing but 42 divided by 5 minus 1.6 the whole square. So 42 divided by 5 is 8.4 minus 2.56, or you'll get S square is equal to 5.84, or finally S we have to calculate is root of 5.84, which is 2.4166. So now substitute. So T is equal to D bar 1.6 divided by 2.4166 by root of n minus 1 is 5 minus 1, which is 4. So it is 1.6 divided by 2.4166 divided by 2, which will give us 1.2083. So therefore, you will get T is equal to 1.3242. Now, what is the condition which we have to use? So for the t-test, which is a left-tailed test, the condition uses t should be less than or equal to minus t alpha. So if this condition is satisfied, you reject H naught, otherwise you accept H naught. So now the degrees of freedom is n minus 1, which is equal to 5 minus 1, which is equal to 4. So at 5% level of significance, for 4 degrees of freedom, we get minus T alpha is equal to minus 2.78. The last step is the conclusion. So since T is equal to 1.3242, you have to check whether it is less than. Okay, so it is not less than minus T alpha equal to minus 2.78. So at 5% level of significance, for 4 degrees of freedom, we accept H naught and conclude mu1 is equal to mu2. 35th question. For the following transportation problem, find the initial basic feasible solution by northwest corner rule. Compute the total transportation cost. You can use either the method where you will explain all the steps, or at least you should write 1 or 2 steps and then you can do the remaining calculations in the table. I will stick to all the steps. So first, we will mark the availabilities as A1, A2 and A3, the requirements or demand as B1, B2 and B3. When we add the availabilities and the requirements, we get summation AI is equal to summation Bj is equal to AT. That means it's a balanced transportation problem. So the first allocation is made in the northwest corner cell, that is X11 is minimum of A1, A1, B1. So which is nothing but minimum of 50, 40. So you will get X11 is equal to 40. This is the first allocation. So write 40 here. Then we see that 40 matches with the requirement at D1. So I'll just write here requirement at D1 is satisfied. So whenever requirement is satisfied, we have to move to the right and we use the formula X is equal to minimum of A minus X comma B. So this cell is X12 is equal to minimum of A1 comma X will be the previous X which you found out, X11 minus B2. So which is minimum of 50 minus 40 and 20. So which is minimum of 10 comma 20. So therefore you get x12 is equal to 10. Next you write 10 here. So 40 plus 10 is equal to 50, which means that the availability is satisfied. So whenever availability is satisfied, you have to move vertically down. So you move vertically down and you come to this cell. So here I will write that the availability at O1 is satisfied. So whenever availability is satisfied, you move vertically down and the formula is x is equal to minimum of A comma B minus x. So you have to come to this cell. This cell is 2, so x22 is minimum of A2 comma B2 minus x12. So this is equal to minimum of 20 comma 20 minus 10, which is equal to minimum of 20 comma 10. So you will get x22 is equal to 10. Next write 10 here. So when this 10 doesn't match with 20, 10 doesn't match with this 20, but 10 plus 10 is 20. And you see that the requirement at D2 is satisfied. So whenever requirement is satisfied, how should you move? You have to move to the right side. So you'll come to this particular cell and the formula which you have to use is x is equal to minimum of A minus x comma B. So this particular cell is 2, 3, minimum of A2 minus x22 comma B3, which is minimum of, it is 20 minus 10 comma 20, which is minimum of 10 comma 20. So you'll get x23 is equal to 10. Next write 10 here. So 10 plus 10 is 20, which matches with the availability at O2. So availability at O2 is satisfied. So whenever availability is satisfied, you move vertically down. So you come to this cell and the formula is x is equal to minimum of A comma B minus x. So this particular cell is 3, 3. So it is minimum of A3 comma B3 minus x23. So you'll get x33 is equal to minimum of 10 comma 20 minus 10, which is minimum of 10 comma 10, which is equal to 10. So write the allocation 10 here. So the next step is, therefore the initial basic feasible solution is x11 is 40, x12 is 10, x22 is 10 and x23 is 10, x33 is 10. The last step is, therefore the total transportation cost is z equal to 8 into 40 plus 4 into 10 plus 5 into 10 plus 6 into 10 plus 3 into 10. So if you simplify this, the final answer will be rupees 500. So again I repeat, it's not necessary to show all these steps in detail. At least 1 or 2 steps should be shown and the remaining can be done in the table by cancelling out the availabilities or demand. 36th question. The price of a machine is rupees 3000. Its maintenance cost and resale value at different ages are given below. What is the annual average cost when the machine be replaced? So here you mark it as N. Maintenance cost means it is CI. Resale value is nothing but SN. So let us start the problem. First, I will write given. The price of the machine is 3000 means the purchase cost is capital P equal to 3000. Next, we'll write the annual average cost. The formula is the annual average cost is AN is equal to P minus SN plus summation CI divided by N. Okay, so first I will find out P minus SN. So it is 3000 minus 1750. So you'll get 1250. Then it is 3000 minus 1250 is 1750. 2150. 2400. 2500. 2550. Next, let us calculate summation Ci. So first write 1000, then 1000 plus 1100 is 2100, then 3250, 4550, 6050, 7950. Next, we will find out P minus Sn plus summation Ci. So you have to just add these two columns. So you'll get 2250, 3850, then you will get 5400, 6950, 8550, then 10500. Now the last column is to find out AN. So it is P minus Sn plus summation Ci by N. So 2250 divided by 1 is 2250. Next is 3850 divided by 2 is 1925. Next is 5400 divided by 3, 1800. Then 1737.5, 1710, and the last is 1750. So just write the conclusion. So you have to check where the annual average cost decreases, okay, and then finally where it increases. So you'll see that from 2250 it increases to 1007, decreases to 1710, and then again it starts increasing. So you can just circle this and put an asterisk over here. So the conclusion will be the machine is replaced at the end of the 5th year and the annual average cost is rupees 1710, and the machine is replaced at the end of the 5th year. 7th main, answer any two of the following questions. 2 into 5 is equal to 20. 37th question, the daily wages of workers of a factory are normally distributed with mean rupees 500 and standard deviation rupees 40. Find the probability of workers whose daily wage will be more than 530 and between 380 and 460. So it's already mentioned that it is the normal distribution. So let us write the information which is given. So write given. Mean means it is mu, which is equal to 500. Standard deviation means sigma, which is equal to 40. Next, define capital X. So capital X denotes the daily wages of workers. So that is X follows normal, mu comma sigma square. So 500 comma 40 square. So now the important formula is we know that Z is equal to X minus mu divided by sigma, which is equal to X minus 500 divided by 40, and this follows normal 0, 1. So this formula is important. Next, let us start with the first subdivision. So I will write consider probability of X more than, that means greater than 530, Because the tables is given in terms of z, we have to standardize. So standardize means from x subtract mu and divide by sigma is greater than 530 minus mu divided by sigma. So this is probability of x minus mu by sigma is nothing but z. So z is greater than 530 minus 500 divided by 40, which is equal to probability of z greater than 30 divided by 40 will be 0.75. So next you can draw the standard normal curve. The center line is z equal to 0. Then mark minus infinity and infinity. 0.75 is positive, so mark it on the right tail of the curve. So greater than 0.75 means you have to shade from 0.75 to infinity. So continuing, whatever area you have shaded, you write it inwards. So you will get probability of x greater than 530 is equal to area from 0.75 to infinity. So the tables, the probabilities or the areas are from any number to infinity. So if you look into the tables, you will get the probability as 0.2266. Moving on to the next subdivision between 380 and 460. So consider probability of first 380 is less than x is less than 460. So this is read as x lies between 380 and 460. Again you have to standardize. So it is probability of 380 minus mu divided by sigma is less than x minus mu by sigma is less than 460 minus mu divided by sigma. So which is equal to probability of 380 minus 500 by 40 is less than, this is z, is less than 460 minus 500 divided by 40. Okay, so this is probability of, when you simplify this, you will get as minus 3 is less than z is less than minus 40 by 40, you will get as minus 1. Next, again you draw the standard normal curve. So this is z equal to 0 minus infinity infinity. So first mark minus 1 and minus 3, both are negative, so it will come on the left tail of the curve. So this is z equal to minus 1, and here somewhere you can mark z is equal to minus 3. Now z is lying between these two values means you have to shade only between these two values. Now remember that the area which we have shaded is area from minus 3 to minus 1. This we cannot find out from the tables. So what do? We have to find out the area from minus 3 to infinity and then find out the area from minus 1 to infinity. So the larger flower bracket area minus the smaller flower bracket area will give us the shaded area. So this is equal to area from minus 3 to infinity minus the area from minus 1 to infinity. So if you check the tables, you will get 0.9987 minus 0.8413, or it is 0.1574. 38th question. Following expected frequencies are obtained after fitting binomial distribution by estimating the parameter. So you know that the parameter of the binomial distribution are n and p. N anyway is given to us in the problem, that is 6, and p is estimated. Okay, so test whether binomial distribution is a good fit at alpha equal to 1%. So the observed frequencies are given and the expected frequencies are given. So the first step is we will write given n is equal to 6 and alpha is equal to 1%. Next, write H0. Binomial distribution is a good fit to the given data versus H1. Binomial distribution is not a good fit to the given data. So the problem is based on chi-square test of goodness of fit, and remember that this test is a right-tailed test. So the alternative is right-tailed. This is important. So the formula is under H naught. The test statistic is chi-square equal to summation O minus E whole square by E, which follows chi-square n minus 1. So all you have to do is, it is very simple. So just form the column O minus E whole square divided by E. Okay, so it is 29 minus 7, and whatever value you get, you square it and then divide by 7. You will get 69.1429. If you want, you can form two columns like O minus E whole square and then O minus E whole square by E. I am doing it directly. Next is similarly 37 minus 35 is 2. 2 square is 4. 4 divided by 35 will give you 0.1143. In a similar way, find out the remaining value. So you'll get 12, 4.4568, 1.1395, and then the last value is 36. So when you sum this up, you'll get summation O minus E whole square by E, which is equal to 122.8535. So from here, you'll get therefore chi-square is equal to 122.8535. Now observe that all the expected frequencies are greater than or equal to 5. So there's no need to do any pooling. Okay, so now what is the condition for the right tail test under the chi-square test? So the condition is you have to check whether chi-square is greater than or equal to K2. This condition is satisfied. Then you have to reject H naught. So let us find out the degrees of freedom. This is an important step. The degrees of freedom is actually n minus 1. But because in the question they have said they've estimated the parameter, you have to subtract 1. This is for estimating the parameter, which is P. So this is equal to n is 6 minus 1 and 1 is 2. So it is equal to 4. So at 1% level of significance for 4 degrees of freedom from the chi-square tables, you will get K2 is equal to 13.3. And then you can write the conclusion. So since chi-square is equal to 122.8535, this is greater than K2 equal to 13.3 at 1% level of significance for 4 degrees of freedom. We reject H naught and conclude that, so when you reject H naught, you're accepting H1. We conclude that binomial distribution is not a good fit to the given data. Thirty-ninth question. In a fishnet manufacturing process, the average number of defects per square meter is known to be 3. Determine the control limits for the number of defects. So because the word defect is used, it is nothing but the C chart. So let me write the heading as C chart. The case is case 1, when the process standard is known. So why is it case 1? We are using case 1. That is because they have used the word known. Okay, that means lambda is given to us. So it is given that lambda dash is equal to 3. So then you can write the 3 sigma control limits are CL is equal to lambda dash. UCL, that is upper control limit, is lambda dash plus 3 times root lambda dash. And LCL is a lower control limit, lambda dash minus 3 times root lambda dash. So which implies CL is equal to 3, UCL is equal to 3 plus 3 times root of 3, which is 3 plus 3 into, so root of 3 is 1.7321. So which is 3 plus 1.7321 into 3 is 5.1963, which is equal to 8.1963. And LCL is 3 minus 3 into root 3, which is 3 minus, it will be 5.1963. So 3 minus 5.1963 will be equal to minus 2.1963. But the lower control limit cannot be negative, so you approximate to 0. So the final 3 sigma control limits are CL is 3, UCL is 8.1963 and LCL is equal to 0. 40th question. Solve the following linear programming problem graphically. Maximize z equal to 5x plus 10y subject to constraints 5x plus 4y less than or equal to 40, 3x plus 4y greater than or equal to 24, and a non-negativity restriction, that is x and y are both greater than or equal to 0. So step 1 is to convert inequalities to equalities. So convert inequalities to equalities. So it will be 5x plus 4y equal to 40. So this step will help us to draw the lines. And the next one is 3x plus 4y is equal to 24. Step 2, to obtain the points of the lines. So whenever we have to draw a straight line, we will need a minimum of 2 points. So this step will help us to achieve that. So start with consider 5x plus 4y equal to 40. So when I put x equal to 0, we'll get 4y is equal to 40, which implies y is equal to 40 divided by 4, which is 10. And similarly, if I put y equal to 0, I will get 5x is equal to 40, or x is equal to 40 divided by 5, which is equal to 8. So therefore 0, 10 and 8, 0 are the points for this particular line. Now similarly, take the next equation. So consider 3x plus 4y equal to 24. Now put x equal to 0. So when you do that, you will get 4y is equal to 24, or y is equal to 24 divided by 4, which is 6. And when you put y equal to 0, you will get 3x is equal to 24, or x is equal to 24 divided by 3, which is equal to 8. So therefore 0, 6 and 8, 0 are the points of which line now? They are the points of 3x plus 4y equal to 24. Now step 3. So step 3 is to draw the graph. So as you see, I've already attached the graph sheet in this slide. So what we have to do is you find out what is the largest y value. So if you see, the largest y value among 10, 0, 6 and 0 is 10, and the largest x value among 0, 8, 0, 8 is 8. So on the x-axis, I have taken values from 0 to 8, and on the y-axis, I have taken values from 0 to 10. And then the scale I have written, x-axis 1 centimeter is 1 unit, y-axis also 1 centimeter is equal to 1 unit. After you do that, now let us draw the first line, that is 5x plus 4y equal to 40. So the first point is 0, 10. So this is 0, 10, and the other point is 8, 0, which is this. Then join these two by a straight line, and then you write on that 5x plus 4y is equal to 40. Now let us draw the next line. For the next line, the points are 0, 6, that is here, and then 8, 0. So join these two by a straight line, and then write the equation 3x plus 4y is equal to 24. That is step 3. So we have drawn the graph. Next is step 4. So step 4 is what? To obtain the feasible region. So how do we obtain the feasible region? The feasible region is obtained by making use of the inequalities and not the equalities. So what we'll do is, first you consider 5x plus 4y less than or equal to 40. Now in this, you put both x equal to 0 and y equal to 0. So when we do that, on the left hand side you'll get 0, on the right hand side you have 40. Check whether 0 is less than 40. It is less than 40, and so you will write true. So whenever it is true, you have to shade towards the origin. Okay. Now take the other inequality. So consider 3x plus 4y greater than or equal to 24. Then you put both x equal to 0 and y equal to 0. So when you put both x and y as 0, on the right hand side you will get 0. On the left hand side you will get 0, and on the right hand side you have 24. 0 is not greater than 24. So you will get false. So for the first inequality, that is this, we got true. So I have shaded using the black color towards the origin. For the other inequality, that is this one, we got the condition as false. So to shade away from the origin, so I've used a red color. Now you have to find out the common feasible region. Common feasible region means where you have both the black color and the red color. And because it's a maximization problem, it should always be a closed figure. So the diagram is a triangle. So this triangular region which has both the black color and the red color shading is the common feasible region. So step 5 is to obtain the corner points. So the corner points, you can mark them in any order. Mark this as A, B and C. So A is 0, 6, then B is 0, 10 and C is 8, 0. The last step, I'll do it in the next slide. That is, you have to evaluate the objective function at these 3 corner points. So the last step is step 6. Evaluate the objective function at the corner points. So let me write down the objective function. So consider maximize z equal to 5x plus 10y. So now let's find out ZA. So A, if you remember, is 0, 6. So ZA is equal to 5 into 0 plus 10 into 6. This will be equal to 60. Then ZB, B is 0, 10. So 5 into 0 plus 10 into 10 will be equal to 100. And ZC, C is 8, 0. So it is 5 into 8 plus 10 into 0 will be equal to 40. Now, because it is a maximization problem, you have to find out the maximum value of the objective function, that is 100. So let us write the conclusion. So you can write the given LPP has an optimal solution at B, which is 0, 10, and maximum Z is equal to 100. Now the last main, that is section D, 8th main, answer any two of the following questions. 2 into 10 is equal to 20. 41st question, calculate gross reproduction rate and net reproduction rate for the following data and comment on the result. So the age groups are given, the female population, the female births, and the survival rate are given. Okay, so the first step is to mark the columns. The female population will mark it as FPX, female births we will mark it as FBX, and the survival ratio or the rate we will mark it as capital S. So now let us start the problem. So first I will calculate gross reproduction rate. So let us write the formula. Consider GRR is equal to, it is 5 into summation 15 to 49 WSFR. So WSFR is women's specific fertility rate. So where WSFR is equal to FBX divided by FPX into 1000. So these two formulae itself will carry 2 marks. So in the table, let us form the column WSFR. So it is 1000 divided by 50,000 into 1000. Okay, so that will give us 20. So write 20 over here. Similarly, 7,000 by 60,000 into 1000 will be 116.67. I'm taking 2 places after the decimal after rounding off. Similarly, next is 177.78. Then you get 125, 100, 40 and 5. So when we calculate summation WSFR, we will get 584.45. Okay, so let us write the answer now. Therefore, GRR is equal to 5 into 584.45. So therefore, GRR is equal to 2922.25. So that is the gross reproduction rate. Next, we will find out NRR. So let us write the formula for NRR. So consider NRR is equal to 5 into summation 15 to 49. It is WSFR into S. And we already written the formula for WSFR, so there is no need to write it again. So we have to form the column WSFR into S. So it is 20 into 0.91, which is 18.2. Next is 105. Then 158.22. Next is 110. Then you have 87, 34.4, 4.25. And when we add up these values, we'll get summation WSFR into S as 517.07. So NRR is equal to 5 into 517.07, or NRR is equal to 2585.35. Now they have asked us to comment. So NRR which we have calculated is 2585.35 female births per 1000 women. Okay, so next what you have to do is the conclusion, let us write. So for the conclusion, you can find out NRR divided by 1000, which is equal to 2585.35 divided by 1000, which is equal to 2.5854. So since NRR is greater than, so it's actually, let me include one more word. So NRR per woman. Okay. So NRR per woman, this is greater than 1. So it indicates that the population is increasing. 42nd question, subdivision A, compute the cost of living index number for the following data. Various items are given and the weights and the prices for the base year and current year are given. So we have to make use of the family budget method. The weights you can mark it as W. The base year price you mark it as P0. The current year price you mark it as P1. So you can compute summation W. So summation W is equal to 27. So we are making use of the family budget method. So what is the formula for the family budget method? So it is CPI is equal to, it is summation WP divided by summation W. This will carry 1 mark, where you have to write the price relative formula. Capital P is P1 by P0 into 100. This will carry 1 more mark. So in the table, form the next column as P, and P, you know, it is P1 by P0 into 100. So it is 2400 by 1600 into 100. You will get 150. Next it is 125, 125, 400, 125. If you want, here also you can write the formula for capital P as P1 by P0 into 100. Next, calculate WP. So it is 5 into 150 is 750, 1250, 3075, 1600 and 625. Next, calculate summation WP, which is equal to 4600. So therefore, CPI is equal to 4600 divided by 27. So CPI, or the consumer price index, is equal to 170.37. Subdivision B, compute value index number from the following data and comment on the result. Items A, B, C, D are given and the price and quantity for the years 2018 and 2020 are given. So 2018 is the base year and 2020 is the current year. So price in the base year, you mark it as P0. The quantity in the base year is Q0. Similarly, price in the current year is P1 and quantity in the current year is Q1. So it's a very simple problem. So the formula for the value index number is, consider V01 is equal to, it is summation P1 Q1 divided by summation P0 Q0 into 100. So all you have to do is you have to form two columns now, P1 Q1 and P0 Q0. So P1 Q1, so 60 into 10 is 600. Next 100 into 5, 500. Similarly 360 and 350. So you'll get summation P1 Q1 is 1810. Similarly, find out P0 Q0 value. So 50 into 8 is 400. Then 320, 420 and 150. So you'll get summation P0 Q0 is equal to 1290. So which implies V01 is equal to 1810 divided by 1290 into 100. So therefore V01 is equal to 140.31. Next, they have asked us to comment or to write the conclusion. So again, you have to do the same step. So you have got 140.31. You subtract the base year index, that is 100. So you'll get 40.31. So you'll write the values for the current year have increased by 40.31% as compared to the base year values. Don't forget to write the conclusion, as this would carry 1 mark. The last question, the 43rd one, fit a second degree parabola of the type y equal to a plus bx plus cx square by the method of least squares to the following time series. Estimate the value for 2020. So let us start the problem. The years are given. So year you can mark it as x and the value you can mark it as y. Then find out summation y, which is equal to 60. Then you can start the problem. You write given n is equal to the number of years, that is 5. It is an odd number. Then let us write, let y equal to a plus bx plus cx square be the quadratic equation, or you can also write the second degree equation or the parabolic equation. Then you write the three normal equations are, first one na plus b summation x plus c summation x square is equal to summation y. Second, a summation x plus b summation x square plus c summation x cubed is equal to summation xy. And third is a summation x square plus b summation x cubed plus c summation x to the power 4 is equal to summation x square y. Now, since these x values are very large, we will use where x is equal to, now whenever n is odd, x is deviation from the middle year. Okay, so the middle year is 2014. So deviation from 2014 divided by h. So h is nothing but the difference between the years. That is, in this case, it is 2. So x is deviation from 2014 divided by 2. So in the table, form the next column as x. So 2010 minus 2014 is minus 4. Minus 4 divided by 2 is minus 2. Then 2012 minus 2014 is minus 2. Minus 2 by 2 is minus 1. Then you'll get 0, 1 and 2. So our aim is always to make summation x equal to 0. Next, find out x square. Remember that the square of a negative number is positive. So 4, 1, 0, 1 and 4. So you get summation x square is equal to 10. Next, the cube of a negative number will be negative. So you'll get minus 8, minus 1, 0, 1 and 8. So again, summation x cube will also be equal to 0. Next, find out x to the power 4. You'll get 16, 1, 0, 1 and 16. So summation x to the power 4 is equal to 34. Then find out xy. So you'll get minus 28, minus 12, 0, 10, 26. So summation xy is equal to minus 4. Then find out x square y. So x square into y. So 14 into 4 is 56, 12, 0, 10 and 52. So you'll get summation x square y is equal to 130. Now let us substitute all these values in the three normal equations. So what will we get now? So which implies you take the first one. So it is NA. So 5A plus B into 0 plus C into 10 is equal to 60. So which implies 5a plus 10c is equal to 60. I'll call this as equation 1. Then take the second normal equation. So a into 0 plus b into 10 plus c into 0 is equal to minus 4. So which implies 10b is equal to minus 4, or b is equal to minus 4 divided by 10, which is minus 0.4. Then the third normal equation is a into 10 plus b into 0 plus c into 34 is equal to 130, which implies 10a plus 34c is equal to 130. I'll call this as equation 3. So solving equations 1 and 3 simultaneously. So write both the equations one below the other. So it is 5a plus 10c is equal to 60 and 10a plus 34c is equal to 130. So either the coefficients of a or the coefficients of c should be the same, and when we subtract both the equations, either one of them will vanish. So I will multiply the first equation by 2. So I will get 10a plus 20c is equal to 120, and the other equation will remain as it is, 10a plus 34c is equal to 130. Now subtract both the equations, so the signs will change. A will get cancelled. Then here you will get minus 14c is equal to minus 10. So which implies minus 14c is equal to minus 10. Minus and minus will get cancelled. So c is equal to 10 divided by 14, which is 0.7143. Now take the first equation. So I'll consider 5a plus 10c is equal to 60. So which implies 5a plus 10 into 0.7143 is equal to 60, or which implies 5a plus 7.143 is equal to 60, or 5a is equal to 60 minus 7.143. We continue. So which implies 5a is equal to, so 60 minus 7.143 will be 52.857. So which implies a is equal to 52.857 divided by 5. So therefore a is equal to 10.5714. So now that we have got all the three values, you'll write therefore the fitted parabolic trend equation is yc is equal to 10.5714 minus 0.4x plus 0.7143 x square. Next is you have to estimate for 2020. So this is when x is equal to 3. So x square will be equal to 9. So therefore y 2020 is equal to 10.5714 minus 0.4 into 3 plus 0.7143 into 9. So which is 10.5714 minus 1.2 plus 6.4287. So therefore y 2020 is equal to 15.8001. So if you take 2 places, only 3 places after the decimal, There'll be a slight variation in the final answer, but the marks will be allotted. Hi, all of you. I received many requests to solve the final examination 2024 statistics paper. I have done so. I know that the question paper was challenging for many of you, as the usual questions were not asked in the 5 and 10 markers. But nevertheless, I know each one of you have given your very best. So please don't lose hope and avoid being anxious and concentrate on the remaining examinations. I wish that each of you do your remaining examinations well, and let not the statistics paper performance affect you in the other exams. Thank you.